Daily English Podcast.
Most people do not fail because they are weak. They fail because they slowly train themselves to accept less than what they are capable of. It does not happen in one big moment. It happens quietly, through small choices that feel harmless at the time. Sleeping a little longer. Postponing important work. Saying tomorrow instead of today. Choosing comfort instead of effort. Over time, these choices build a life that feels heavy, confusing, and unfulfilled. When people look at successful individuals, they often see confidence, freedom, and control. What they do not see is discipline. They do not see the days when motivation was gone, but action still happened. They do not see the boredom, the repetition, the loneliness, and the patience required to build something meaningful. Discipline is invisible, but its results are loud. Discipline is not punishment. It is not suffering for no reason. Discipline is self-respect in action. It is the decision to do what is necessary even when your emotions disagree. Your feelings change every day. Your responsibilities do not. If your life is controlled by how you feel, your results will always be unstable. Many people wait for confidence before they act. They believe they must feel ready, inspired, or certain. But confidence is built through action, not before it. You do not become confident and then act. You act, and confidence slowly follows. Discipline creates evidence. Evidence creates belief. Belief creates confidence. The modern world makes discipline difficult. Everything around you is designed to distract, entertain, and soften discomfort. Your attention is constantly pulled away. Silence feels uncomfortable. Stillness feels boring. Yet boredom is where discipline is trained. When you can sit with discomfort without escaping, you gain control over yourself. That control is power. People often say they want a better life, but their daily behavior does not match that desire. Wanting is easy. Acting consistently is hard. A better life requires better habits. Better habits require discipline. There is no shortcut around this truth. You can delay it. You can ignore it. But you cannot escape it. Another uncomfortable truth is that no one is coming to save you. No perfect moment is coming. No person will arrive and fix everything. This realization can feel heavy, but it is also freeing. The moment you accept full responsibility for your life, you regain control. You stop waiting. You stop blaming. You start building. Discipline also means doing things without immediate reward. Most people quit because they expect fast results. When progress is slow, they assume they are failing. In reality, slow progress is normal. Growth happens quietly before it becomes visible. Skills develop before success appears. Strength forms before confidence is felt. Those who understand this stay consistent. Those who do not quit too early. There is a loneliness that comes with discipline. When you start waking up earlier, working harder, and choosing differently, not everyone will understand. Some people will question you. Some will mock you. Some will distance themselves. This is part of the process. Growth often requires walking alone for a while. This loneliness is not punishment. It is proof that you are changing. Discipline builds identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become someone who can be trusted. Every time you break a promise, that trust weakens. Over time, your identity is shaped not by your goals, but by your habits. You become what you repeatedly do. People underestimate how powerful small actions are. They believe change must be dramatic to matter. In reality, small disciplined actions repeated daily reshape your entire life. Reading instead of scrolling. Training instead of skipping. Learning instead of complaining. These choices seem small, but they compound. Over months and years, they create a completely different future. Many people are tired not because they do too much, but because they do too little of what truly matters. They spend energy on distractions, comparisons, and worry. Discipline removes noise. It creates clarity. When your days are structured by intention instead of impulse, your mind becomes calmer. Your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. Discipline is not about being perfect. You will fail. You will miss days. You will make mistakes. Discipline is about returning quickly. It is about not quitting because of one bad day. Consistency does not mean never falling. It means always getting back up. If you are listening to this and feeling resistance, that is a sign that something important is being touched. Growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. You do not need to change everything today. You only need to act differently than yesterday. One decision. One effort. One disciplined choice. Your future is built in ordinary moments. In the mornings when you want to sleep longer. In the evenings when you want to relax instead of improve. In the moments when no one is watching. Those moments define you. Discipline is choosing the life you want over the comfort you crave. It is choosing long-term freedom over short-term pleasure. It is choosing self-respect over excuses. And the moment you begin choosing discipline consistently, your life starts to change quietly, steadily, and permanently. Human psychology hides a strange paradox. The very things we fear most often become the invisible walls that trap us exactly where we are. Most people believe their problems come from lack of opportunity, lack of money, lack of support, or lack of talent. But if you look deeper, you'll notice something far more uncomfortable. Many people are not stuck because they cannot move forward, but because part of them is afraid of what happens if they actually do. From the outside, fear looks obvious. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of losing. But the more dangerous fears are quieter. They don't scream. They whisper. They disguise themselves as logic, comfort, patience, or waiting for the right time. And because of that, they go unnoticed for years. Think about how many dreams die without drama. No big failure. No public embarrassment. Just slow suffocation. A person says, "I'll start next year." Then next year comes, and nothing changes. Not because they forgot, but because starting would force them to confront something inside themselves they'd rather avoid. One of the most powerful hidden fears is the fear of responsibility. Success sounds attractive until you realize it removes your excuses. When you succeed, you can no longer blame your parents, your country, your boss, or your past. You become the owner of your outcomes. For many people, that feels heavier than failure. Failure allows comfort. It gives you a story. It gives you sympathy. It gives you something to explain why your life looks the way it does. Success gives you silence and expectation. People expect more from you. You expect more from yourself. And that pressure scares people far more than they admit. Another silent fear is the fear of being seen. People say they want attention, followers, recognition, but what they really want is controlled attention. They want praise without judgment, approval without criticism, love without exposure. But real visibility doesn't work like that. When you speak up, create something, or stand out, you become visible not only to supporters, but also to critics. Your ideas can be misunderstood. Your intentions can be questioned. And suddenly, the comfort of invisibility feels safer than the risk of being known. This is why so many talented people hide behind perfectionism. They don't say, "I'm scared." They say, "It's not ready yet." But not ready often means not safe. As long as something is unfinished, it can't be judged. As long as it stays in your head, it stays perfect. Perfectionism is not a desire for excellence. It is fear wearing expensive clothes. It convinces you that waiting is responsible, that delay is wisdom. But in reality, it quietly trains you to never finish. Then, there is the fear of change itself. The brain loves predictability, even when that predictability hurts. A bad routine feels safer than an unknown improvement. This is why people stay in toxic jobs, unhealthy relationships, and destructive habits. At least they know how the pain works. Change threatens identity. If you change, who are you now? If you let go of the version of yourself that struggled, suffered, or survived, you must face the question, who am I without my pain? For some people, pain becomes a personality. Letting it go feels like losing themselves. Another deeply uncomfortable fear is the fear of outgrowing others. Success can create distance. When you grow, not everyone grows with you. Some relationships weaken. Some conversations stop making sense. Some people feel left behind, and not everyone celebrates your progress. Many people unconsciously hold themselves back to protect others' comfort. They don't want to be too much, too ambitious, or too different. So they shrink. They delay. They settle. And they call it loyalty. There is also fear of discovering your limits. As long as you don't fully try, you can believe you had more potential. But when you give your full effort, the result becomes real. If you fail after trying your hardest, the excuse disappears. That truth can hurt more than imagined success feels good. This fear keeps people in half-effort mode. They work hard enough to stay busy, but not hard enough to risk finding out what they're truly capable of. Busy becomes a hiding place. One of the most dangerous lies people tell themselves is, "I'm still learning." Learning is important, but endless preparation often masks avoidance. At some point, learning without action becomes another form of fear. Knowledge feels productive. Action feels risky. The modern world encourages this behavior. Endless content. Endless advice. Endless motivation. It feels like movement, but it's not transformation. Transformation requires decision. Decision requires courage. Fear also shows up as comparison. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you avoid facing your own path. Comparison gives you a reason to stop. Someone is ahead of you, so why try? Someone is behind you, so why push harder? Comparison steals presence. It keeps you focused on outcomes instead of process. And when you live in comparison, you rarely move with authenticity. You move with anxiety. Another overlooked fear is the fear of boredom. Many people are addicted to chaos. Silence scares them. Stillness forces self-reflection. And self-reflection exposes uncomfortable truths. So they stay distracted, busy, overstimulated. But growth often happens in boring moments. Repetition, discipline, consistency. These things are not exciting, but they are powerful. Fear of boredom keeps people chasing novelty instead of mastery. Then there's fear of commitment. When you commit, you close other doors. Keeping options open feels safe, but it also keeps you shallow. Depth requires commitment. Mastery requires commitment. Meaning requires commitment. People who fear commitment often call themselves flexible or open-minded, but deep down, they fear choosing wrong. So they don't choose at all. Time chooses for them. Fear can even appear as positivity. Toxic positivity avoids pain instead of processing it. Everything happens for a reason becomes a way to avoid accountability. Just stay positive becomes a way to suppress truth. Real growth requires honesty, and honesty is uncomfortable. So how do you move forward when fear is invisible? The first step is naming it. Not in dramatic language. In honest language. Ask yourself, what exactly am I avoiding? Is it failure, or is it responsibility? Is it rejection, or is it exposure? Is it lack of skill, or lack of courage? The second step is reducing the size of the fear. Fear grows in imagination. It shrinks in action. You don't need confidence to start. You need movement. Confidence comes after evidence, not before. The third step is accepting discomfort as the price of progress. There is no growth without discomfort. The goal is not to eliminate fear, but to act while it exists. And finally, understand this. Fear does not mean stop. Fear often means you are standing at the edge of something important. Most people wait for fear to disappear. That day never comes. The people who move forward are not fearless. They are simply willing to feel fear and move anyway. And when you do that consistently, something changes. Fear loses authority. It becomes information instead of instruction. A signal, not a command. Your life expands not when fear leaves, but when you stop letting it decide. And the most powerful realization of all is this: the cost of staying the same is often far greater than the cost of trying and failing. The question is no longer, what if it doesn't work? The real question is, what if you stay here forever?